Okay, everybody, we're going to try this again. Ralph Havens here from autoimmuneanswers.com. And this is the Miracles, Magic, and Healing, Miracles, Magic, and Coffee Show. So here we go. I'm going to go on Facebook and get this all set up for us. And hopefully we'll have Fred on in just a minute. Okay, that's going to be good. Okay, you guys, we're going to give this a go. Here goes. So let's see if we can get Fred on the line. I think we're good there. Cancel that. Cancel that. Let's see if we're on. I don't know what the deal is. We're trying to get Fred Dodson on the line. He's been emailing me, and I'm not sure why he can't get on. So hang out for just a little bit, you guys. Let me see if we can figure this out. Yeah, something's really going a little funny here. Who knows what that means? Hang out for just a minute if you can. Oh, I think we got it. Oh my goodness, we got Fred. Yay. Okay. So let me go ahead and grab him. So allow to talk. We're going to allow Fred to talk. So let's see. More.
Is Fred allowed to talk?
All right, we should be live in just a minute. We're on Facebook.
Is Fred allowed to talk?
Hi, Fred.
Hi, Ralph. Nice to meet you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. Yes, Ralph, I can hear you.
All right, I think we got it going. Let's see if we can get a some sound here.
Yes, Ralph, I can hear you.
I can't hear you. Let me see. Let me just see if I've got my settings. I'm kind of having a funny time. Hi there. Let's see, sound. Okay, so we got headphones, that should work. Input, we got Yeti, I should work. I should be able to hear you. Do you hear me, Fred?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I don't hear you. Let me do this. I'm gonna take all this out.
I can hear you just fine. I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I can hear you now too. All right, I can hear you, so that's good.
Good.
Welcome, thanks, sorry for all the issues there.
Nice to meet you, Ralph.
Nice to see you again. It's been a long time.
It's been about 10 years. You first appeared on my screen about 10 years ago.
That's cool. It seems about right. Yeah, I'm so glad to get you on. It's been quite a ride. I knew you when I was in San Diego, and then we've had a whole bunch of things happen, and we ended up here in the Pacific Northwest. And now what I'm up to is helping people with autoimmune conditions to heal. And part of it I found is people want to get, as they get healthier, they have, they want more with their life. And so there's been a whole transformation with my work to help people get more of what they want in life. And that includes all the other stuff, even besides the health, the happiness, the financial stuff, the life that they want. And so
So it's not only autoimmune conditions, it's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. And it's a lot of it, as you know, is like, it's all about, we're working with ourself, and like you say, the parallel universes of self, there's other versions that could be having a different life. But I found this whole thing kind of goes very well together, whether we're fighting ourselves with a health condition, autoimmune, or somehow limiting the way we succeed. And so I was excited to talk with you, because as I've been talking to my people, let me just introduce you a little bit to everybody, because some people may or may not know you, and I'll let you introduce yourself too. I met Fred way back, I think around 2009, and I first read your book, Parallel Universes of Self, and I was very deep into the matrix energetics world, and it made sense. It all fit together. And what interested me about your work and the work I was doing was I was finally seeing some tangible results in the physical world after many, many years of reading about how quantum physics works and how energy works and, you know, all this law of attraction stuff. I had read a lot of that stuff, but it never translated into changing my life. And so matrix energetics was one of the first things that really made me see, wow, we can have some command of the universe or a way to shift things. And then your work really, the way you describe it and the way you use it, it made a lot of sense to me. And so I enjoyed it a lot and used it a lot. And so as I've been going through, since you've seen me 10 years ago, I've had clients that have been asking more and more for this type of thing. And so for people that don't know Fred, he's written, I think, 28 books in 7 languages, something like that. And what interests me about Fred is he's done what he says he does. So like a lot of people, you know, will say, here's how you create realities, and they'll use different words about it, but Fred's done it. And so, and he, from what I've seen, I want to ask him about these things, but what I've seen is he does it in a very magical, but also very real way. And so I wanted to check in with him and see what he thought about ideas like this. So welcome, Fred. And if you want to let people know a little bit about you and anything else about your background and how you came to be doing what you're doing, I'd love to hear.
Oh, I'm just Fred. You know, I teach about, a lot of people teach about doing this or doing that method. I teach about being. So my essential question is, who would I have to be in order to attract a certain thing? That's the most basic question I teach and ask. Who would I have to be? Not what do I have to do, but who would I have to be become an attractive person to a certain reality, to become attractive to a certain person, to become attractive to a certain finances, to become attractive, magnetic to certain events. So that's what I teach. Who am I? I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm having a good time. I started all this when I was fairly young. You know, I had a lot of experiences in childhood, and that's where what I do comes from. I left my body throughout childhood. I self-healed throughout childhood. I time jumped throughout childhood. Crazy stuff, you know. And as time moved on, as I became more mature, these experiences lessened. But my success in the material world increased. So that's my story in short.
And so with your background, was there lots of trials and tribulations? Like, was it a really hard childhood that led you to have a lot of clairvoyant kind of things going on?
No, it wasn't. You'd normally hear that story, you know.
Yeah.
Our childhoods. I had a pretty good childhood and a pretty good life. Pretty comfortable, pretty safe. However, you know, there was this disconnect between what I was experiencing and what the rest of the world was saying. So I developed an early distrust in school, in teachers, universities, in mainstream culture, because none of it was addressing the things that I was experiencing. So while my life has been happy and good, mostly, there was always a disconnect between what I see and experience and what people tell me. My parents couldn't tell me what's going on. My teachers couldn't tell me what's going on. So I kind of dissociated from the way things are normally done. And that's actually helped me. It's helped me move my mind into new areas, to go beyond the norm to go beyond the mainstream, you see.
That's cool. So you came in with a lot of access to whatever this is, these levels of consciousness, or just for some reason, that's how you started interacting with the world.
I guess so, yeah.
Wow. Okay. And then, and you do this through your books and your videos and your live courses to help people become the people to attract certain things. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I teach success, and success is linked to ascending in levels of consciousness. So I actually teach ascension in levels of consciousness, because as you ascend energy-wise and integrity-wise and focus-wise and kindness-wise, you actually naturally attract success with no strings attached. So there's two types of success. There's worldly success, which always comes with strings attached. Okay, if you work really hard on this job that you don't like to do, you will get money. And that's success with strings attached. But if you go the way of the heart and higher consciousness, you attract legitimate, easy, effortless, joyful success.
That's
Does
cool.
that sound okay? Does that sound okay to you?
It sounds cool. It sounds great. It's like the carrot. A lot of people that read The Secret and Law of Attraction and What the Bleep kind of stuff are looking for. Where does work and like, you know, if somebody's a kid and they want to be an American football player or a soccer player, and they dream it and they become that person, they still go to the gym and they still do a lot of they do everything. They're immersed in that, and it's a lot of physical work. And the actual games, there can be triumphs and there can be low points, and you might have a losing season, and it's not all fun and games. How does work and hardship fit into that model?
Well, I don't teach as they traditionally teach in movies like The Secret, where you just think it and then you have it.
Yeah.
I teach that it's physical, spiritual, and psychological. So I about 2 years ago, I trained a soccer guy, and he didn't have a team. He was a professional soccer player, and he had no team. He had all the physical action going, all the discipline, all the self-discipline, but he didn't have the belief, and that's where I came in and helped him develop the identity and the attitude and the energy field in order to find a team, and a team he did find. So I don't really, I can't answer that because I don't teach it. I don't
Oh,
teach
got
that
it.
you just think it and then you get it. I teach that you have to become a whole field, a whole energy, a whole attitude, which includes being and doing.
Right.
Acting, being, doing, speaking, thinking, the whole setup, the whole thing.
Got it. Yeah. So it's like there is a lot of action and a lot of work and a lot of planning, but it's because that's what a person that is that does.
The thing is, yes, the thing is though that if you if you choose something you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like work.
Right.
You see, I work like others perceive me working like crazy, but I don't feel it that way. I don't experience it that way because I like what I do.
That's awesome. So, okay, well, I think that feels really good. I can understand more about how that works and how that plays out in your world. So, if you have people that, and I know you do, you're a success coach. What would you say are some of the reasons people succeed and some don't succeed? And a lot of people, are doing a lot of things from those things like The Secret and Law of Attraction. And a lot of other people are maybe doing some of that and meditating some and also working really hard and getting various levels of success. But why do you think some people do, it just happens more magically and things happen and other people never quite make it? What do you think the difference is there?
Well, that's pretty general, because in my view, everybody succeeds. in the sense that their continued thoughts, words, and actions create certain, and decisions, of course, and choices of goals create certain results and circumstances, okay? So everybody succeeds.
I got it.
Yeah, maybe they don't succeed in what they thought they wanted, but everybody succeeds. So every little thing you think, say, do, choose during a day creates a certain environment or a certain result. So everybody's very successful. Every single human being.
So how do you?
Yeah.
So for somebody that would come to you and want to say, for example, have financial freedom and be able to do, they might have work that they love doing, but they're not finding a way to make it work for them yet. What would you, anything you want to say about how you would work with them or how that would look? Like, how does somebody go and become the person that they consciously want to become, but they're not being that person yet?
Yeah, I do that work every day with people.
Yeah.
And it's, people are stubborn. The mind is stubborn. So I have to work to help them release their stubbornness and allow themselves to be better and to improve. I'd say money, financial success is, it's really, without strings attached, financial success comes from taking good care of your fellow humans, using your creativity and your potential and your talent to take good care of your fellow humans. Because where does money come from? It comes from your fellow humans. So as you use your creative potential to take care of them, they reward you with money. So whether you're, if you say you're talented and creative and hardworking, but you're not getting any money, it's because whatever you're doing does not benefit either yourself or your fellow humans. So ideally, what you're doing has a benefit to yourself and your fellow humans. That's how to get rich. And if you don't have that money, you may think that you're benefiting people, but you're not benefiting people to your highest potential as best as you could. So that's something to examine. If you're financially lacking, what value are you offering to the world? Why should I give you money? That's the question I keep asking people. Why? You say you want this fancy car and you want this jet. Why should I give you money? You've given me no reason so far to give you 1 cent, And then they start thinking, indeed, why should he give me money? Well, I don't feel I'm worth it, And it's about self-value.
It is.
Are you putting out? Because what you put out, you get back, and that's essentially the law of attraction.
Right. And then what about the person that does good work? Because I've run into this with quite a few people, and I have my versions of how to help people shift this. But I'd love to hear what you do with somebody that doesn't charge the kind of money that would give them the lifestyle they want, and it has to do with their feeling, well, I can't charge that, or they're it's a self-worth money thing, but the people that give away a lot of free treatments, the people that do a lot of trades, the people that don't charge rates that are high or even higher than what the standard is, like there's some kind of thing about money and charging for it and accepting it. What do you find in that world of helping people shift that?
It's to do with shame. Shame from childhood, basically. And again, lack of self-worth. Also, ignorance about how the world works. Not knowing that giving people the opportunity to afford you is great. And also putting your prices at this level attracts that level. So it depends what level you want to attract in pricing, okay? And you could ask anything. It's arbitrary anyway. You could ask anything and you'd find a target group that is attracted to that.
Yeah.
I had to raise my prices a few years ago. And because I wanted less people. Here's something funny, okay? I was working too much and it was just too much. So I had to raise my prices. And you know what happened? I didn't get less people.
You got more people.
Yeah.
That's happened to me too. Yeah, it's been quite interesting. And they get better results. It's really funny.
They get better results because they're invested. Yeah.
Yeah. So any advice you have for somebody that, I mean, obviously to see you, and if you do want more people, we'll get your contact information. I'll give it to people. Reality Creation, just Google Reality Creation, but we'll get you Fred's contact info. But I'm not even sure how to ask. I mean, obviously it'd be like, okay, work with you and learn how to be the person that's attracting these things. Yeah, I mean, it seems so common sense, like to be the person that then it's not work and you're just attracting that, and of course you're doing the work because that's who you are. Yet I find so many people we're up here in the Pacific Northwest, and there's lots of people that are into spiritual work up here and healing work, and they want wellness centers and they want to do a lot of good in the world. And yet I see a lot of issues with people that and it's in everybody, I think, to some extent, where if you say, oh, triple your prices, if they were to ask somebody for that, it would push a lot of their buttons. And anything you have to say about, like, when something comes up that pushes your buttons?
It's supposed to push their buttons. It's supposed to force them, not force them, but compel them to grow into the person that deserves that. It makes them better. If you raise your prices, it's going to make you better because you're going to want to live up to that standard. Raising my prices was the best thing I ever did because it made me really, really focus, and it made me enjoy spending all this time with people. You know, I didn't feel I'm wasting my time or the job is difficult. You don't feel that when you're getting that much money. You know, you really want to do the best and you want to make sure people get their money's worth. So it compels you to grow into the price you define. If you feel, if you, listener, feel bad about that, just raise it a little bit and you'll notice yourself improving to deserve that price, you know, then a little bit more and you improve to deserve that price. Now, the thing is, you don't, it really depends, because if you're doing one-on-one sessions, that's not too much money for you. That takes a lot of work, you know, and a lot of focus. So I'd actually ask more for one-on-one sessions than for group events. Group events are much easier. You can lower your prices, and people understand that if they come to a group, they can't have you as a healer or a coach exclusively. You know, they have to share you with other people. So I believe in having something for everybody, for every budget. I have free stuff for people who can't afford it. I have cheap stuff, which is a group seminar, large group training, you know. That's cheaper. And if you can't afford me in single coaching, you go there. So I just have something for everything. But some people, they don't want to be part of a group. They want exclusive, and they got the money to pay it. They want that. Okay, I want it. I look for the higher price option. I always look for the premium option because I want that, whatever healer, doctor, or coach, I want them for myself. And I'm that way, and I know others are that way too. And that's why we have nowadays in marketing, we have, you know, premium, gold, whatever.
Yeah. And I noticed, I saw your rates for different things. It sounds awesome. I just had a question. Let me. So are there things like one thing that intrigued me about you years ago was it didn't seem like you did the traditional marketing and sales, and like I don't think you do ads and stuff like that. Is there is that just because you're being who you are and it just attracts to you like that?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's an awesome thing.
I don't believe in force, imposition, promotion, marketing. I believe in attraction. I teach attraction.
Attraction. Yeah.
So my marketing is minimal, just a little here and there, a little social media, a little ad here. I don't actually pay for ads. I've sold about a million books, including audiobooks, without marketing and without a big publisher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just because I want to make the product awesome and attractive so that it doesn't require much marketing. So that's something people need to understand. The worse your product, the more marketing you need, the more expensive it gets because you're just boring.
You're just
so many boring, yeah. Boring people out there, and then they have to invest in all this marketing in order to get going.
That's just awesome. Do you have any good stories or some kind of like, oh wow, this person came from here and then went to here, something that people could like grab onto and go, oh wow, that's a cool thing. I would like that for myself. Anything where somebody was struggling with some sort of thing and then they were able to succeed because of some shift that happened that you were helping with?
Oh, hundreds. I'm going to write a book about them someday. A guy suffering from terminal cancer. Am I allowed to talk about that?
You're okay with me? Yeah. I know, that's funny these days. It's funny. That's a whole nother topic about morphic fields and what's being done. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to see him, and his face was falling apart, and he was constantly fighting with members of his family. There was all this anger and resentment between family members. I saw it live, I thought, wow, what if all this resentment were to go away, And he was going to chemotherapy, and it wasn't helping him. So he had about 2 months to live, and that's when he got me. And people, unfortunately, they often get me when it's almost too late, But I stayed with him every day for a couple of weeks, and we just I cut out the resentment, blocked him from the resentment. So we had to remove ourselves a few times when another fight in the family was going to erupt. And we started acting as if he had a life, because he wasn't planning anything. He was planning to die. Okay, I said, what are your goals? Well, I don't have any goals. I'm going to die. So we started going out, and we started making a business plan for him, and all of that. Okay, and then we did a bunch of emotional releasing exercises, and then his situation slowly improved. That was a couple of years ago. He's still alive. Okay, a guy that had 2 months to live is still alive a few years later. So
that's
that was
awesome.
great. That's just great. And I have hundreds of these stories, but I gotta say that one took a lot of work.
That's awesome. That is an amazingly cool story. That's awesome.
It's endless, endless stories of success. Not always, but often.
That's a great story. Any, I don't know. I surveyed a lot of the people that I interact with a year or 2 years ago, somewhere in the past, and like I said, a lot of them had been dealing with autoimmune conditions and helping people get healthier with that thing. And there's specific things to do that can do that. And I was getting so many as I met people and worked with them. I was really feeling like, wow, money is a thing for these people. So I just asked them flat out, like, how much of your problem is solved with money? And overwhelmingly, these people with physical health challenges in various stages of healing, they were like, oh, 90%, 99% is solved with money. And I thought, well, that's just strange. So it was one of the things that intrigued me, because with my work, there's the energetic part, And then there's stuff to do in the physical world to get healthy as well. And the mindset thing, it all goes together, but there's things to do that can help somebody. And so I thought, well, with the successful part of the financial part, it's got to be a similar thing. And I know you work in that world of shifting, mindset and beliefs and who you are. Anything else you want to tell people, or any story that might illustrate, how that can work for somebody? Because it seems like a lot of people, when they think of success, it's a financial freedom thing, like ability to basically, I'm sure you get people that are like, I just want to be like Fred. Like I want to do my fun stuff and make my money and help people. But anything you want to say about helping, how that can work?
The first thing all these people need to do is stop focusing on money. Okay, they need to focus on what they'd enjoy as a business, as a contribution to the world, something unique. Not just copy Fred. That's not going to work because it's boring. Okay, it's somebody already did reality creation. People come here with a unique talent, and it's about knowing yourself. It's about looking inside yourself and asking, what would I like to be? What would I enjoy? And the first thing that comes up, is, well, I can't make money with that. That's the first thing that always comes up. And that's why they stay in jobs that they don't like and careers they don't like, because they think they can't make money with what they do like. And then they claim that they don't know what they like, but they do know what they like. It's that they don't dare do that. Well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't make money of that. But that's something that needs to be examined. Is it true that you couldn't make money of that? Which is what I always ask, and I try to get people to do exactly that. And they're like, no way, I couldn't. No, it has to be that, because what's the alternative? The alternative is spending the rest of your life doing something that's not true to you, that's not who you are. Being a slave, basically, and saying, I got to do something bad in order to get something good. The good being money and the bad being the job. Now, people need to get that philosophy. I need to do something bad to get something good. It doesn't make sense at all. The extreme of that would be, I have to commit murder to get this money. I have to do something bad to get money. It doesn't make sense. The only thing that does make sense is to do something good in order to get something good. Now that makes sense. And what is good? Well, look into your heart, what you would enjoy doing, what you wanted to do when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Wanted to be, and start it, even alongside your old career, your old job, start developing something new, because it can take some time to develop it. You got to be patient with yourself. It could take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and that's okay. That doesn't matter, because it's not about the goal, it's about the process of doing what you enjoy.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I liked what one of your videos or articles in the past said about sometimes you get these fleeting thoughts that is a decision to do something, or some belief that you have. And I had those. I remember crossing the street on a run in San Diego once, when early in my career, and thinking, wow, it'd be cool to do this energy work for runners. And at the time, I didn't believe it worked. I'd taken my first class in energy type work, and I was like, that's a bunch of crap. But I had this weird thought that popped in my head, and it came to be. And there was another time when I was had achieved my goals, my financial goals, my business goals, and you had helped with that. I was in San Diego, but I was in vacation in Vancouver, and I thought, but why don't I have a girlfriend? And it's like, God, I don't even know anyone I want to go out with. And but I'd met Jen, and I finished reading this book, Eat, Pray, Love, and I tore out the last page and just wrote down in detail what our life would look like in the Pacific Northwest with kids and everything. And went back to San Diego, and it happened, and we're here. And so it's kind of a funny thing. It wasn't like it just magically appeared, but it was, like you said, a decision that kind of came, and then there was a lot of work involved too, and a lot of shifting inner stuff to get that. So so that makes sense to me. It sounds. Anything else you want to say about like that like the decision and then the belief, and then there's a lot of work to do too. I mean, I know you work, although it's not work to you, but there's stuff to do and things to learn. Just before we leave, I've kept you much longer than I asked you for, so I appreciate that. But
first you look at the intention and the wish, like you did, and you let that be the guiding thing, not the actions, not the work. The work is a natural and automatic consequence of the intentions. So first, the intentions are the state of being, and what work is to do becomes obvious. It presents itself.
It becomes obvious. That's so good.
Yeah, it presents itself. So,
That's a great way to say it. That's a great way to say it. Yeah, that's good. And so, having a coach is really helpful. Well, I found, my wife and I were just looking at what's accomplished for us, what we've done in the last bit of time. And then we looked, just like, oh my God, that's really happened in the last 2 years. And I looked and it's like, well, I've had 5 coaches in that time, because there's things to learn and shift and get help with. How are you, can people still contact you and work with you? Or what's the best way to contact you, if that's possible?
I work with people every day. It's my day-to-day job, actually. Most of it is by email and by Skype. It's www.realitycreation.org, and then there you click on coaching, and then you see the different options, the cheap options, the expensive options.
Awesome.
So
yeah.
I do it every day. I've been doing it for a long time, and I want to do it for a long time.
That's awesome. Yeah. You're not just checking out and sitting on the beach, although that would be okay too. But yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Fred. This is awesome, man. I love reading stuff.
You see, when you found that which you really want, you don't want to go sit at the beach. You want to do your stuff. Even if you already have millions of dollars, you want to keep doing it because that's who you are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the football player that doesn't, why would he quit? He loves what he does and he's good at it. Yeah. For you, football is soccer. For me, football is American football. Wow, that's cool. Well, good. Any parting words or anything else? I could talk to you forever, but anything else you would want to tell people that are looking for how to create the lives they want?
Yeah, I'd like to tell you that the world is so mediocre and boring that being a success is easy. It's very easy to be just a little level above a mediocre world. It's easy. And if you don't see it as easy, you don't see the world as it is. The world is not that awesome. It's very easy to be just a little bit more awesome. And that's why success and financial abundance is actually easy to have. It's not difficult to put yourself above your competition because the competition is not that good. Success is a piece of cake. Those are my parting words, okay? And if you don't see that, please look at the world. Take a close look.
That's
Success
awesome.
is a piece of cake.
Thank you, Fred. I really appreciate your time, and it's so good to see you. And yeah, all right, everybody. So I will get this recording to Fred, and it'll be on my site too. And leave comments. Let us know what's up. And because you're here, if you have a condition, autoimmune condition of any type or any kind of chronic condition, message me. I'm going to open up my schedule for the first 5 people that want a complimentary coaching session, and I can let you know what I see and if there's anything that we can do to help you out. So all right. Well, thank you, Fred.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Ralph, for the interview. Great interview. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Fred. So good to see you.